Okay, we've had a look at the Agile approach, and now the question is, well, how do we do this for something like a student project where there's only one deliverable, and we think, well, we sort of do it and that's it. How do we break this up? So let's have a look at it. The first thing we need to do, the steps generally are, we need to understand the problem, the stakeholders, and their goals. So that's the first thing we need to do. We can then test our understanding by delivering something tangible that is not anywhere near a solution, but is something tangible over which we can all discuss and negotiate the understanding of the problem and the potential solutions. We can then deliver a minimal solution, not intended to be the final solution, just a minimal solution to do various things, like mostly to keep the heartbeat going, to show the customer that we're still working and we're delivering things. The major milestone, I guess, we're aiming for is to deliver the expected solution. And this, if you're a student, you deliver the expected solution, that's it, you're done. Except if you want more marks. If the Agile approach has worked well, then what you should have is time and money left over to do a better than accepted solution. That is to stretch this solution in some way that makes it better. Now, I have to warn you that an Agile approach at the beginning is slower. This is because you need to put the work into getting all the coordination going, to get all the team on the same page, is the expression, to get the team working together. And this takes a little bit of time and effort. But once it's up and going, it starts to sing. And that usually means that by the time you get to deliver the eventual acceptable solution, making a better one is not that much more effort. So let's go through the steps one by one. First thing is understanding the problem. That is, to try and get the problem owner to describe the world as they see it, as it exists now. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with the world as they see it? Now, how would they want the world to look? That is, what would the solution look like? The stakeholders, some people seem to have trouble identifying the stakeholders. It really is not that hard. You have a look at who's going to be most affected by this particular solution, whose reputation's at stake. They're usually the major stakeholder. That's usually a political stakeholder as opposed to an economic one. Political stakeholders matter a lot. Now, for economic ones, who pays? Who benefits? Who will use it? Who will support it? Who develops it? Who is the customer's customer? So you might be developing it for end users, but they might be using it for a customer. Who regulates this? Often a stakeholder that's forgotten. So there are a number of stakeholders, and it's not that difficult to find several of them. Now, for stakeholder goals, usually stakeholders obviously want this thing to work. So whatever works means that's what they want. But beyond that, there's how does it work? Does it make things more efficient? Does it make things more productive? Is it more secure? Is it easier to deliver? That is, if you're rolling out a solution to all of 35,000 people in a major bank, for example, then probably the training costs are significant. So something that is less to train is a more desirable solution than something that's more difficult to train. But whatever the stakeholder goals are, these are things that will come in later. Now, we've had a look at the problem, its supposed solution as expressed in the stakeholders and their goals. Now we're going to start work. First thing to do is to check our understanding with something tangible. Now this is usually something like a user interface design or a mock-up of the user interface or a system architecture, something that allows all parties to sit around a table and talk about how this thing's going to work. If this thing is if you're doing some consulting and this thing happens to be a business process, that allows you deliver the business process or a mock-up of the business process to allow everybody to talk about it all. But it's important to have something tangible that everybody can put around the table and try out. Now, what it does for you, it allows you to test out your coordination within the team and your coordination between yourselves and the customer. It allows you to check what your productivity is doing. How are you working together? It allows you to test out how you're producing the quality, and it allows you to test out the usability. That's what these interim solutions do. Self-managed teams do need to coordinate their efforts. Let's make no mistake about that, and the tendency is now towards self-managed teams. So the coordination has to be done by themselves at their own. You've got to sort it out. This coordination is to coordinate the growing understanding of the problem. I mean, if you've realized something about the problem and you haven't told the rest of the team, how are they going to know? How are they going to take advantage of it? What are you going to do? Produce something spectacular yourself? It doesn't work like that. These projects require everybody to work together, everybody to share the same understanding. So you need to work out how to share that understanding, how to coordinate that. But such a coordination really is better handled at the team level. There is quite a fashion at the moment for trying to introduce knowledge management into team projects. Nothing beats talking to each other, but it needs constant interaction. Now, integration. Similarly, integration, you need to practice it, basically. You want to be able to deliver things. Now, that requires the whole team to put their effort together to put them into some coherent whole and to deliver them in some reasonable fashion to the customer. Just do it again, practice it, you'll get better at it. Now, we've got the system, the system of production. We have our team working reasonably well and we're producing reasonable solutions or producing some solutions. We need to be able to deliver things to the customer. It is not that we want to deliver something to them for them to use. We want to deliver something to them to check their understanding. Is this still the problem they imagined it to be? Has the problem changed? It also persuades them that we're making progress and tells them what our progress is. So we deliver minimal solutions or partial solutions, and it's better than none at all. Now we're aiming for the acceptable solution. That is, solutions that meet most goals for most stakeholders. This is roughly what most people sign up for. This is the solution they want, and we're aiming for that. And essentially, if we deliver that, in theory, we're finished. In practice, though, if your Agile approach has worked well, you'll have time and money left over. Possibly not a lot, but enough to try for a better solution. Now, what would be a better solution? In marketing terms, this is something that delights the customer. Now, a better solution could be something that is easier to roll out. The deployment costs are less, or it performs better, or it's more secure, or it's more usable, or it provides more services, or provides greater capability for the future. Whatever is better in stakeholder terms, whatever the stakeholders think is a better solution, see if you can try and deliver that. And the more of it you can deliver, the better. So that's a little way of doing it. Now, in the context of a student project, an acceptable solution is what the project asks for. A better solution is what gets you better marks. If it's any one of my projects, there will always be a better solution, because a competent job will get you a competent pass mark, and you want more than a pass mark. So in summary then, for this Agile approach, you need to do things to check your understanding of the problem and your understanding of an acceptable solution, how you're going to do that. You start with a simple, crazy answer that won't work. You go from there to delivering minimal solutions that probably are not intended to be deployed. And you work your way up to an acceptable solution. Now, by work your way up, I don't mean that there's tens of iterations. You might have, say, 2 or 3 between a simple, crazy thing and an acceptable solution. But the point is, you do more of them. Just test it all out. Once you've delivered an acceptable solution, you try to deliver the better solution. All right? So that's an Agile approach to it. I do believe it's going to work very, very well for student assignments, and we'll see how we go.